Let's start by precision agriculture. Well, first thing first, agriculture is a very dynamic thing. It's like it's a very important part of the technology, or a very very important part of humanity in itself. And realizing that technology has can make a huge impact in how agriculture itself is being done, or how agricultural practices are being carried out. And that is one thing that for a very very long time I've been trying to figure out a way to get involved and make impact there. And as much as there are other ways, even in software development, in data analytics, that um, agriculture can be impacted, drone technology and machine learning is also a very, very huge player in these fields. So can I see the slides on the screen, please?
Okay. Bring the slide. The lesson I do, he has to bring it up.
Okay, so next slide, please. Next. Okay, so first of all, we start from precision agriculture. Machine learning algorithms are used to analyze data from sensors on drones to map out crop growth patterns and identify areas of the field that need attention. So, as much as data sets are being trained, um, I've worked with machine learning engineers like one I will mention, Seriki. He's an amazing machine learning engineer that I've worked with, and he has written data like trained data sets to be able to identify defects in rice and defects in maize, and also growth patterns in those crops as well. And then we have to upload that data into our hardware, and it can carry out that action using the drone. And that process in itself is called precision agriculture. um, there are various tools that can actually be used to carry out these processes, like from the hardware base, like from the hardware side. We have tools like the Raspberry Pi, which is used to process this data, and it's being mounted on the drone to carry out the data. If you have a webcam, and there's a camera which uses sometimes thermal cameras that can be able to read or take those readings and then process those readings based on the data that was trained. These allow farmers to actually target specific areas for fertilization. It saves on resources, because now there was a particular time there was a complaint, like someone reached out and said he's using a lot of fertilizer, using a lot of fertilizer for his crops, and sometimes he's fertilizing places that don't. Sorry, pesticide. He's using pesticide on places that don't even need, you know, um, that pesticide. And I was like, okay, what if a drone can be able to help you take readings, and then let you know, okay, these are the places that need pesticide, or these are the places that need more fertilizer than these other areas. And that is a huge problem. That is a huge problem solver, because now people can save more on resources. It's better for the environment, because less chemicals that are used in the soil, the better for the environment, the better for the soil. And it's better for irrigation, pest control, leading to efficient use of resources and increased crop yield. Next slide. We have crop disease and pest detection. Thank you. We have crop disease and pest detection. Um, Most times, because in machine learning we have reinforced learning, supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and actually most of the times we use supervised learning or reinforcement learning to train data sets to carry out these tasks, identify pests, know the right, identify pests on the field, on the crops using a drone, know the right pesticides to use, know the right um, um, fumigation fumigation process to carry out. And I really wish I can show you a few of the tools that we use in person, like bring a drone and show you how the drone carries out this operation, but actually at the office. Um, but we have tested live. Yeah, I think we actually have tested live how drones can be able to reduce the use of pesticide in farms and also disease and pest production and um, pest detection, sorry, pest disease and pest detection, and can reduce wilting of leaves or can spot out discoloration in maize by identifying these issues early. And farmers can take steps to prevent or mitigate the damage using crop loss or increasing yields and also increasing yields. Next slide. Yeah, weather forecasting and prediction. So we are a tad bit far, not exactly very far from it, not very far from it, but there has been a lot of research done out there, like a place in Texas. I know many of you are heard of Texas, where they use drones and then the chemicals are being poured in the atmosphere that can be that is used to produce rain. Like that is amazing. They use this to produce rain. um, the process of rainmaking, which is evaporation, condensation, and then precipitation, they can be able to reproduce that process again using drones. And even there's a place in Saudi Arabia, the UAE, where drones are used to clear mist. They used to clear mist on the farms. Um, and it's all this is machine learning because the drone doesn't just know, oh, this is mist and this is what I should do, or this is the process I should take to actually get these things out or solve these problems. Machine learning has taken us a step forward in being able to control the weather, and being able to make changes to our environment that makes things that brings about efficiency and also brings about results. Machine learning algorithms can analyze historical weather data and make predictions about future weather patterns, and also steps that can be taken to take advantage or make the best out of those weather patterns. This information can help farmers make decisions about planting, harvesting, and protecting crops from weather related damage. Next slide. Machine learning is playing an increasingly important role in agriculture every single day. Even currently, we're even looking at enrolling, or enrolling is not the word, hiring um, machine learning experts out there to on our team at Neurospace, because if we are going to be making applications in security, if we're going to be making applications in agriculture, machine learning has a huge role to play in these things. I myself have been playing around with a lot of data sets and playing around with a lot of hardware that can help a machine learning model and a drone come in contact and carry out an operation. And our drones are automated. Like all our drones are automated. Even the drones that are used for videography are automated drones. And those drones are the ones that we actually use to carry out these operations and do all this like cool stuff. I call them cool. I call it cool stuff. And every single day we are taking larger and larger strides in research and development, and we want to make that change. I would urge anyone here to every single time you can actually engage in agriculture and how data analytics, machine learning can change agriculture, can impact agriculture. Please, you should. It's an extremely important, you know, part of technology that we should really be looking into. When we say technology, people will be like, oh, fashion or this thing. robotics, things that are more technical. No, technology in itself is the ability to make things better, making something that is less efficient more efficient, and reducing harm as reducing harm to the environment while making something way more efficient than it was before. And if we can be able to take the next step in agriculture, it's going to be really important for us because that is an edge we have as a country. Or let me use the word as a continent. The edge we have is that agriculture, we have an edge in agriculture, not oil and gas only, actually. Agriculture, we have an edge in agriculture, and we have to take that edge. So every single time that we can make that change, we should make that change. And actually, my New Year's resolution is to take as much questions and talk to people about how drone technology helps make changes in these aspects and in these fields, and also how machine learning, even how front end, how machine learning, data analytics, or whatever stack you are a part of, how you can impact or make an impact in this field of life. Thank you. If there's any questions, I'm taking them. Is there any question? So, okay, so how we integrate AI with drones? A very interesting question, actually. So, there are a lot of tools that are out there. Um, Most people use Arduino, like the Arduino. So now let me do a quick introduction to robotics right now. Let me just do a quick introduction to robotics. So in robotics, there are controllers or processors that are being used to be able to interface the software with the hardware. It's like a body and a spirit. Yeah, that's the best. It's a body and a spirit. So most times we have the microprocessors and then we have the microcontrollers. The microcontrollers, they can be called microprocessors or microcomputers. The microcontrollers, we have the Arduino Uno, the Nano, the Mega. There are a lot of them. There's the 18 Mega, which we use in our flight controllers. It's like the most versatile out there. I think let me show you one. Let me show you one. This is an autopilot. It has an ATT Mega inside. This A microcontroller was used to build this, and this is how most times we interface with. This is how most times we interface with the AI, or this is where most of the boards are being connected to. Every single thing, both the software and the hardware side. This is where it's being connected to, and there are a range of them. There's actually a range of boards out there that can be used. So now, now to the part where now that you understand what these are to an extent. Now, So now how the AI is being connected is, first off, it's being uploaded to a computer or like a microcomputer. The microcomputer that we use in this case is called the Raspberry Pi. There are a lot of Raspberry Pis out there. There's Raspberry Pi Pico, there's Raspberry 3, and Raspberry Pi 3, and we upload them into the Raspberry Pi. And then from the Raspberry Pi, we hook them up to this. This is what we call a flight controller. Normally, this is an outdated version. We no more use this version again in aerospace, or we no more use it for building drones anymore because we now use an updated version called the Pixhawk. The Pixhawk is now the version we use so that we can be able to upload code from the Raspberry Pi. The Raspberry Pi, most of the code is written in Python, but the Pixhawk is mostly programmed in a Python or C++. So if you want to join our company today, we'll ask you whether you can write code in Python or C++ or Golang. We use Golang most times. So yeah, um, and from there we upload the code from the Raspberry Pi. The Raspberry Pi works hand in hand with the flight controller. We automate a few processes on the flight controller so that it can carry out its operations well. We normally we automate all our flights, and that process is called mission planning. We plan we plan missions. We plan missions on the drone. So the drone knows, okay, my owner wants me to go left, right, forward, backward. And then we program those instructions into the drone. And then the camera now plays a role in taking visual data, sending it to the Raspberry Pi. The Raspberry Pi processes that information and then stores it in the server. That's it. Any more questions?